We're going to talk about the modularization process specifically in robotics. And we're going to take a look at specific examples of hardware that's in the industry and see what that tells us about where we're at and where we're going. And it'll give us a better understanding of well, first of all, I'd like people to know what's out there, so we're going to talk about that. And second of all, it helps us understand where we're going and where some of the next steps are. So on the far left side here, you've got packaged solutions that are closed box. Those are proprietary solutions. You move all the way over to the right, you've got companies that focus on components, and you've got open standards. And the bottom arrow there is interconnectivity. So we go from proprietary towards open standards. By interconnectivity, we're talking about the interconnectivity within the products themselves. So the very first section, packaged solutions, we call closed box solutions. When it comes to market and application, they have a very strong focus on market and application. They know what market they're going to sell these products to, they know exactly what they want these things to be doing when they get there. For proprietary in this realm, it's very high. Most everything is built in-house from top to bottom, and from hardware to software. You're really not meant to modify these sorts of products. What they're built for is what they're used for. They really don't expect you to be opening them up. They don't expect you to be adding things onto them. So, for examples in this area, you've got industrial robotics like manufacturing arms, commercial off-the-shelf products, things like the Pleo, vacuum cleaners like the Roomba. So it's really, earlier we looked at things getting from expensive to cheap. In this case, price really isn't a defining factor. You can have a low-cost robot all the way up to an industrial arm. It's a packaged solution. And again, it's a company investing all their money to build it in-house from top to bottom. So the next step towards modular thinking and a modular technology would be what we call packaged solutions, building block parts. A lot of similarities to the previous section where you have everything built in-house from top to bottom, but only they're starting to think in a modular fashion. So when it comes to, well, let me go over this. The two types that we see in this area is that you have larger companies doing it, like Taba, Robotics, High-Tech. A lot of these guys are in the hobby area. In fact, most companies, when I was researching, I found are in the hobby and education area. We don't see a lot of really large companies doing this yet. You've also got some mom and pop shops that are also doing this, Robotics Connections, your Battle Kits of the world. They're also thinking in a modular fashion, but again, they're building almost everything in-house. So for market and application, in this area, you've got a stronger focus on market. So these guys know hobby and education. A little bit less on application. They don't really care what you do with it or how you entertain yourself with it once you have it. When it comes to proprietary levels, the product itself is modular. It's still made in-house, so it's proprietary how it's made. But some of these companies will open up their APIs and want people to adapt to them and connect to them. Other ones keep it closed, so you're going to find a little bit of everything going on at this point. So yeah, sometimes they encourage you, sometimes they don't. You find hacking communities really loving to jump into this area and start building their own components. Take another step further down, you've got packaged solutions, what we call hybrid OPP, other people's parts. So the market and application for this area is that there's a stronger focus on application, a little bit less on market. So the robot knows what it's supposed to do. It's a very finite behavior, but it could be in many different areas. It could be in, let's say you get sentinel robots or telepresence robots. Two examples there. Could end up being in a hospital, could be in a business. You could let customers find new areas that they haven't used these sorts of technologies in before, and the companies, really that's okay because they're focusing on what it does. So when it comes to proprietary in this, they're still largely proprietary in how the interconnectivity of the parts work, but they've used other off-the-shelf solutions. Some of these, if you open them up and look inside, you're going to recognize the parts. There'll be common computers, common batteries, common wheels, things of that nature. And so they're starting to think more modular and buy from business to business. So some examples in this area would be white box robotics, mobile robotics. Is it okay? Can I say that, Gene?
Mobile robots.
What's that? Mobile robots. And I found that one from InTouch Health, which looks similar, but I can't say for sure whether or not.
Are they vertical, really? Is InTouch talking about?
Well, when I was just doing the research, I saw InTouch and I'm recognizing parts of that robot, so I figured they might fall into this area. One thing to note about this area is it's very thin. There isn't a ton of companies here yet because we're not totally modular in robotics yet. So a lot of people are building things in-house still. But when you get to this area, you start to see people, plugging components together that are already out there in the marketplace. So after that, we get to the next step, which I call filling in the gaps. And what's interesting at this point is that you have people that are focusing on certain components, but in order to move the products, they've got to create more of a finished solution. So they've actually sort of wrapped more stuff around their product to be able to move it So it's a good sign in the marketplace because it means the market's starting to mature, where companies can survive starting to focus on components, but they still need a little help. So what they do is combine it with other people's products. And I'm going to give you some examples in each area here. So like the mechanics level, you've got Lynx Motion and you've got Crust Crawler. Both of these companies, their focus is mechanics. They really are good at building crawlers and arms and wheel bots. And both of these companies, if they could just focus on mechanics, not have to worry about other areas, they would. I know this because I've talked to both of them and they've both told me that. What they have is some software solutions and some controller solutions as well, but those really aren't their core competency, and those borrow those from other companies or worked on them almost secondary to their hardware. When it gets to sensors, I like this example here. They literally took wheels and servos and slapped them onto the vision board itself. So, very minimalist approach, but you get the idea. They're wrapping other things around so that when you buy it and it comes out of the box, since you probably don't have a huge robot shop in your bedroom, you want to get it out, you want to use it, you want it to run around, you want to do something. And so that's what they've done. But pretty obvious their core competency there is a vision board. When it came to controllers, Machine Bus is a good example. They sell controllers, and they built the Emax, which is just basically a pumped up RC car with the controllers on it. When it comes to processors, the Parallax basically focuses on processors. It's more of a finished product, was the closest one I could find as an example like this. Really is to move more processors. Software, a great example is the ER1, which is by Evolution Robotics. They're a software company. In order to have their software for you yourself to be able to do something with it, they created this little chassis where you literally slap your laptop right on top of some wheels and you're able to drive it around. When you get mature in a market, you're going to see people that focus on components and don't even feel the need to try and wrap stuff around them. We've got some companies that do that in robotics. We're going to see a lot more of that over the next decade as this technology matures. When it comes to market and application, these guys don't care what the market or what the application is. It is a component. You're supposed to modify these components. You're supposed to use them to modify other systems. Some examples in this area. Dimension Engineering and Robot Power both make motor controllers. BaneBots is an entire line of motors and brackets for them. Mind Sensors, Maxbotics, those are all sensors. Fidgets does sensors and controllers. So they're out there and they're being sold, and hobbyists have been using these and using them to hack into other systems as well for quite a while. But I look forward to the day when you can literally go to the store and have dozens to choose from at every single one of these levels, and where robotic developers can focus on things like behavioral programs and software and not have to worry about hardware anymore.